to all. In our today's lecture, we are going to see about the 2 wattmeter method. So normally, for a three-phase system, the total power which is equal to 3 times of per phase power. So in order to find the total power consumed by a three-phase load, we need 3 wattmeters in each phases. That means for each phases we need 1 wattmeter, so that overall we need 3 wattmeters to determine the overall real power consumed by the load, so that the number of wattmeter is increasing in the particular method. So to avoid that, we prefer this 2 wattmeter method, so in which only 2 wattmeter is enough to measure the overall power consumed by the three phase load, whether it is star connected or delta connected. Okay, so that it is simply given as the total load which is equal to P1 plus P2. So we know that in the wattmeter there are two coils is there. The first one is current coil and the next one is pressure coil. Okay, so the pressure coil is connected to a common point. Sorry, and this is the corresponding common point, so where at which my pressure coils are connected here. So the another current coil is connected to two different phases. Okay, so therefore the total phase difference between the phase currents Ia and the line voltage VAB is theta plus 30 degree. Okay, so that the average power read by the wattmeter W1 and W2 are given by the equations like this. We know that the real power which is equal to real part of V into I conjugate. Okay, that is given here. Okay, so that I use this formula VAB into IA into cos of theta plus 30 degree. Here VAB is nothing but my line voltage and IA is nothing but my line current. So it is replaced by VL into IL into cos theta plus 30 degree. Similarly, the real power measured in the second wattmeter P2 is given by VL IL into cos of theta minus 30 degree. So here the angle is theta plus 30 degree. Suppose in this case the angle is theta minus 30 degree with respect to the values. Okay, we know the trigonometric series formulas. Cos A plus B equal to cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Similarly, cos A minus B equal to cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Now use the expansion of these two formulas in these two equations. Then the total power P1 plus P2 which is equal to the final value is root 3 VL IL into cos theta. So this is nothing but my total power consumed by the three phase load. Okay, so that PT which is equal to P1 plus P2. Suppose if I less these two powers P1 minus P2 and I just do the expansion, then my final formula which is equal to minus VL IL 2 into sin 30 degree into sin theta. That means we know that the value of sin 30 degree is 1 by 2. So this 2 and this 2 will cancel. This minus sign is goes to the side, then the resultant equation looks like this: P2 minus P1 equal to VL IL sin theta. Suppose in the RHS side I multiplied this value by root 3, then I get the value of total reactive power. So that the overall reactive power is nothing but root 3 times of P2 minus P1. So that is given here. These are some normal series expansion and simplification. Just do it your own. Okay, and therefore St which is equal to square root of Pt square plus Kt square. This is the formula we known from the power triangle. So that we use only 2 wattmeter, then we are able to find the total real power and reactive power consumed by the corresponding load. So it is effective method and the simplest method to find out the powers consumed by the corresponding loads. Okay, so therefore the angle or the power factor tan theta in order to find out the value of power factor. So therefore tan theta equal to, we know that qt divided by pt. Now you substitute the values. Okay, so that the two wattmeter method not only provides the total real and reactive power, it also used to compute the power factor. Okay, so that from the formula I conclude, if my P2 and P1 both are equal, then my load is pure resistive. Suppose my P2 is greater than P1, then my load is inductive. Suppose if my P2 is less than P1, then my load is capacitive in nature. So it is very effective method to measure the real reactive power and power factor. Also from the power itself, we should say whether the load is resistive, inductive or capacitive. It is a very effective method. Okay, now you see this problem. So the 2 wattmeter method produces wattmeter readings P1 equal to 1560 watts and P2 equal to 2100 watts when connected to a delta connector loop. If the line voltage is 220 volt, calculate the per phase average power, per phase reactive power, the power factor and the phase impedance. So they given the value of P1, P2. Now you substitute in the corresponding formula the total real power which is equal to P1 plus P2, so that the total real power which is equal to 3660 watts. Okay, therefore the per phase average power is nothing but simply divide this value divided by 3. So this is the per phase real power, and we know that the reactive power which is equal to root 3 times of P2 minus P1. Now you substitute all those values. This is the overall reactive power and zipped by the corresponding load. Therefore the per phase value reactive power is simply qt divided by 3, so that the value is around 311.77 volt ampere reactive. And the next one is apparent power and power factor angle. We know that power factor angle theta equal to tan inverse of qt divided by pt. Substitute all those values and you simplify, the angle is 14.33. Okay, so that the power factor is around 0.9689 and it is lagging. Why? Because it is an inductive war in nature. We already know that when my P2 is greater than P1, then my power factor is lagging, what we see in our repeat slides. Therefore the phase impedance is ZP, which is equal to Vp divided by Ip. We know that Ip equal to, we know the formula for the power, per phase power, P equal to Vp into Ip into cos theta. We know the value of per phase power and per phase voltages and cos theta power factor value. So from this value I find out the value of current Ip, which is equal to 5.723 ampere. Therefore ZP, which is equal to Vp divided by Ip, so that the overall impedance is 38.44. Okay, and the angle which is equal to the power factor angle. Okay, so only the impedance which is equal to 38.44 at an angle of 14.33. So here it gives only the magnitude of the impedance. Here the angle is taken from the power factor itself. Okay, so this is the final answer. Okay, and you see this problem. So it is an unbalanced connector load. So up to that we solve the balanced load connection. So here we go for unbalanced connector load with two properly connected wattmeters. So determine the magnitude of and angle of the phase currents, magnitude of the and angle of the line currents, and determine the power readings of each wattmeter, and similarly calculate the total power observed by the load and compare the results with part D with the total power calculated using the phase currents and resistive elements. So these are the data given. So I move on to the solution. So from the diagram I write all those parameters. IAB equal to, we know that VAB divided by ZAB. Okay, so here each phase impedances are varied. So that EAB divided by ZAP, which is equal to 208 volt divided by 10 ohm. So the resultant current is around 20.8 ampere. And similarly for IBC and ICA, just I calculate the current values. Here the magnitude of currents are unequal. I am already told that if the magnitude of currents are unequal, automatically it is clear the load is unbalanced to 1. So that the vector addition of these three currents is not equal to 0. It is the main observation. Okay. So therefore the line currents are given by IAA equal to IAB minus ICA. Okay. So just you substitute all those values and you simplify. The final answer is 32.79 ampere. Similarly, do for next phases IBB, ICC, etc. Okay. So that the total power P equal to VA into IA into cos phi. So in order to find the real power, the wattmeter which is connected to a corresponding phase, then you take the corresponding phase voltages and corresponding line currents in order to determine the power. So that only. So in this case IAA current is taken and similarly the corresponding power factor angle is taken here. Okay. So that the power consumed measured by the wattmeter P1, which is equal to 6788.35 watts. And similarly for the next wattmeter reading, the answer is 379.1 watts. So therefore the total power consumed by these two wattmeters is equal to P1 plus P2 equal to 7167.45 watts. So we have another formula. So there are resistance present in each phases. The power, real power consumed by the load, which is equal to I square R. So you use the each phase currents and the corresponding phase resistance. So then you are able to get the overall power. Now you substitute the each phase currents and corresponding phase resistance and you simplify it, you get the value is around 7168.43. So compare these two results. These two results are approximately equal. So that when we use this 2 wattmeter method or we use this formula which is used in E, so in both the cases the results are almost same. So this is the conclusion I made in this problem. Thank you.